setup.
Oh, I know.
I'm not fucking pressured. It's like a radio.
Oh, it's gorgeous. We love looking at this view every Saturday.
It's a tough view, isn't it?
Oh my goodness. Okay, Adeline, we're gonna have you. Let's see. These chairs are a little bit wobbly.
I don't mind standing up.
No, yeah, you know what? Let's have you stand up. You're sorry. You're like me. And
yeah, I probably need to. I get like wrestling.
So you're gonna. We just need to make sure that you speak kind of. Yeah. Like, that's good. Yeah. And I'll be standing right here.
Do you want to stand or sit?
No,
we're standing because we're short, but you can sit if you want.
And also, I have.
Are we on? We're live. Hello. We're back.
Hey guys, we're back here with Adeline from Eat This, Burn That, and we're gonna get started.
Cool. No worries. You ready to go?
Do we want Adeline to have headphones?
Do you want to have the headphones? You're more than welcome to.
Why not?
If you want to have,
it looks cooler.
Yeah, it does look good.
What is the headphones for? Is it to block out noises or?
Half of it is to block out. No, it's not to block out noise. It's to listen to yourself talk.
Yeah.
So if you like listening to yourself talk, then
probably not. I don't know how I feel about that.
Okay.
We'll just go normal.
Go normal.
I can't do two things at once. I hear Liam's voice and I can't think.
And it's pretty loud as well, though. So it's pretty,
really?
My voice is pretty loud when I'm listening into the microphone. You'd be fine without the.
I think it should be fine.
Yeah.
It's pretty loud in here, so
it is.
Pretty good.
We've got the bachelorette party.
Yeah.
You ready to go?
Sure am.
Broadcasting from the world-famous Bondi Beach, this is Bondi Radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live down on Bondi Radio for the Weekend Wellness Show. This is Liam Zollo, the host, and we're back down here with Sheena Alexandra. She never left, but we're still back down here live on air. And we're with our new guest, Adeline. How do you say your last name again?
Adeline.
Adeline. Okay, cool. I like that one.
Pretty much. I used to get that a lot in high school. So.
Adeline. We all had our nicknames in high school. My last name's Zollo, so I got like, what are you, the Mask of Zorro? I'm like, I'm not Zorro, I'm Zollo.
That's a cool nickname.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
My last name was Hogue, and they used to say, Hog you!
Oh.
No, it's like Vogue, you know? Like,
Vogue.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to turn the back on the bullies though. If they say that, I'll go, you know what? Hashtag YOLO with Zollo. How about that one? You only live once with Zollo, so that's what.
It rhymes, so.
It rhymes with that one. So we've got to always give it to them back, guys. Give it to them back. Anyway, I'm super excited about having this conversation. Let's tell us a little bit more about what you're doing.
Eat this, burn that.
Eat this, burn that.
Isn't that awesome? First of all, awesome name.
Great name.
Of the business.
Thank you. So, like the name suggests, eat this, burn that, because, you know, life is too short to be, I don't know, too restrictive over, like, you know, what you should eat, what you shouldn't eat, what you should train and what you shouldn't train. So, essentially, it is like a wellness hub for busy people. So, I think a lot of the resource out there is, I think, created by full-time fitness professionals, which sometimes is not quite relatable to busy people like myself and you. So that's kind of where it all started. And I share a lot of recipes, meal prep, and occasionally workout videos and all that.
Yeah, okay. So why did you start it then?
I actually started with a beauty blog, so just like a little platform to kind of like a creative outlet. I was an accountant then, and I think that's when I kind of started getting into my health journey, and from there I think my passion kind of moved from beauty to fitness, and that's kind of where it all started. So.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
And Adeline has great social media as well. Like Katie, Adeline goes all out. She's got a YouTube channel, she's got Instagram, she's all over social media.
Oh, awesome.
And I mean,
spending a bit too much time on social media sometimes.
No, it's good. I mean, you can really tell your passion through that creative outlet that you have. But let's talk about meal prep and meal planning.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know what meal prep is, it's pretty much preparing all your meals on the weekend. There's a variety of ways that you can do it. You can either prepare everything on the weekend, where you have those square containers you see on Instagram, and it fits in that little square photos, where you can just grab and go during the week, or you can kind of take it down a bit and just prepare the protein or different ingredients that you need, and you kind of have your own like food buffet every day, just mixing whatever ingredients that you have prepared for. So the whole idea behind that is you just spend a couple of hours on the weekend, get all your food sorted, so you don't have to worry about food during the week.
Yeah. So what kinds of food do you like to plan?
Yeah. So I always I used to say when all things fail, just cook chicken breast because they're easy to cook and you can just freeze them for up to 3 months. So that's something that I like to cook. But when I'm running low, when I don't have much time, I like to cook mince because they're quick, they're easy to cook.
Yeah.
And just put some tomato sauce and also some chicken stock, and you get like yourself a bolognese sauce. Or another one that I like to use, and it's my little cheat trick, and that is to go to a deli and grab a whole chicken and just kind of shred them and portion them out into individual containers. Or for the vegetarians out there, I like to have hard-boiled eggs ready.
Oh, yeah, that's easy.
Yeah,
Hard-boiled
so-
egg is the
Look
easiest
at
thing.
all the trainers out there that do it. I'll just get you coming back in.
Yeah.
All the trainers at our gym do that.
Yeah.
Hard-boiled eggs.
It's
But
just
it
the
just
simplest-
smells really
Oh,
bad.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they might not be
It's nicer, but it tastes so nice.
Do you know what? In America, they have peeled hard-boiled eggs in a plastic container
Well, you
that you
can-
can buy
Really?
at
Oh,
like
really?
Costco.
Are they free range?
I don't know if they're free range, but they're already peeled and they're in a plastic bag.
Wow.
I don't know. It just doesn't seem right to me.
It doesn't seem right, but I mean, it makes sense. You don't want to sit there and peel an egg.
No, but that's the
anymore.
fun part, when you can get it all off and it's in
It's a
one
bit of a game, though, isn't it? Don't you reckon?
Yeah,
Like,
sometimes it just gets stuck in the, what they call that, the membrane or something.
Yeah. So the perfect way to cook a hard-boiled egg is for 17 minutes. Once it starts boiling, you put the eggs in, you cook it for 17 minutes, and you bring it out
I
to cool.
actually don't know that. I just kind of leave my eggs there and then do some stuff and come back.
Oh,
I
interesting.
thought it was 3 minutes.
No, it's in my life, in my world, it's 17 minutes.
17
and that
minutes?
produces the perfect egg.
Really? Okay.
That produces not. You know how it gets dark on the inside and
Yeah.
gray. This
Yeah.
this is a really beautiful yellow.
A beautiful yellow.
I'm going to give
egg.
that a try this weekend because I just usually just put it there and just...
And I don't know about this, but the water has to be boiled. I don't know what that is, but it does crack when you put the eggs in. So try and put your eggs before it boils, but start the timer when you start to see the first bubbles appear.
Bubbles appear.
I think we should all give this a go. 17
Yeah,
minutes.
okay,
17
cool.
minutes.
17-minute egg. All right, fair enough. I like that. So how do we use your website then? If I was to go on and see your website, how does it work?
At the moment, it's going through a little revamp, but there would be a start here page, so kind of go through what the website is all about, what my philosophy is, and then there would be little categories where you can search for recipes, some tips and tricks on how to make healthy living a little bit simple, and also there's like a free little guide that is available there, but it's going through revamp at the moment. But it will all be nice and clear.
All be nice and clear.
Yeah.
So, Jim Rohn said something one time. He had a quote. I'm full of quotes today, aren't I?
Yeah.
We all have a good quote.
Find a way to help the many, because the many leads to greatness. And what Adeline's doing right now is she's doing it through social media. She's helping the many, so that through meal prep, it's going to lead to greatness.
Yeah.
That's why social media, I know you said before, you're on social media all the time. It doesn't matter if you're on social media if you're getting your voice out there to help the many.
Yeah.
So, because only the many leads to greatness.
So you think it's better for people to just think about their food instead of going off and ordering Uber Eats or ordering something for lunch?
Yeah.
I mean, I remember when I was married, my husband would spend at least $5, $10 a day on food. And I would always say, just bring the food.
cheap.
Well, I don't know. This was a few years ago, right? Before
I'm like $20 some days.
yeah,
so-
whatever. I don't know. Yeah. Okay, so $20.
But that's on coffees.
Yeah, coffees too.
Yeah.
But I would just tell him, just think about it. If you could just bring your lunch to work, I'll even get you a nice little lunch
Container?
box.
Yeah.
Container. So how important do you think that is? Just to get your mindset that you can save money and not be lazy and just make your own food, and it can be healthier and it can be less expensive.
So I like to think about it as, you save money and also decision fatigue, because sometimes it gets hard to decide what you want to eat for food as well. With all the options available now, you want to have your sandwich, you want to have your Vietnamese noodles, you want to have your salad, your poke bowls,
Poke bowls, they're my favourite.
I know.
They're awesome.
Yeah, just a fresh bowl. I could do some of those right now. So if you only have half an hour to eat and, trying to make the decision on what to eat sometimes take a little bit longer. So how I like to change, I kind of set the mindset as well, is to allow a few appointments during the week so that you're not just eating the food that you're preparing. So I like to make my appointments around my 3 days of, have a catch up with a friend or have meetings during that time. So you kind of set up how many meals you need to prepare for the week and just prepare those so that you're not going to feel sick of the food that you have prepared, and also you have that little kind of room to go out and treat yourself to a poke bowl.
Yeah, no worries. I like the poke bowl idea.
Yeah.
But are they goal specific as well, the meals that you talk about, or are they just general healthy meals that are just on a budget?
They're both, so it can be, I guess, goal specific. I guess when it comes to fat loss, you need to be on a calorie deficit. I know there's a lot of different arguments out there, but at the end of the day, your calorie in has to be less than your calorie out in order to lose fat.
Exactly right.
And so when I'm kind of trying to shred for summer, now that we're in spring, I make sure that my protein and my rice is kind of nicely way up so that I'm not overeating as well. I don't know about you, but sometimes when the food tastes too good, you just kind of
always overeat.
Yeah.
I'm an Italian heritage, so just feed me. I've still got that mentality. So.
Okay, yeah. So what I like to do is portion up my protein to about 100 grams because that's kind of the standard size of protein you should have with each meal. And with my rice, depending on my wraps and whatnot, my complex carbs, depending on what my goals are. If I am trying to lose some fat, then I'll kind of cut down the portion. If not, I'll kind of have a bit more when you're trying to bulk.
Yeah.
So that's a great way to kind of set up your, to kind of cover up your major macronutrients for the day, and by doing so, it kind of allows you a little bit extra room to treat yourself as well because you have all the right macronutrients and micronutrients already sorted from the meals that you've prepped. So.
Is this learning as you're going, or because you come from an accountant background, is this like you're learning, you've done more courses around this then? Or?
Yeah, so I did my fitness certificate 3 and 4 in fitness.
Yeah,
and,
okay. Whereabouts?
Fitness Institute of Australia.
At St Leonard's?
No, that's AIF. So I did the one in Railway Square. So
cool.
So I've had that, but with this meal prepping is something that I've kind of learned kind of throughout my own experience because I was doing my accounting. I had my postgraduate studies back then, and also I had pretty active social work back in the day, so I kind of have to make all this work if I want to kind of not burn out. So these meal prep tips is something that I've kind of learned along the way and kind of put together. So.
Are there any tips that you have found with eating food and this is a good 2-portion
like how do you without a weighing scale?
Yeah, are there any items out there that you buy on a regular basis because you know it's going to be easy to prep?
Yes. So my fail-proof, and it's easy is tuna. Frozen vegetables and also instant rice and quinoa because you can literally pop the frozen vegetables and the rice into microwave and then put the tuna on top and you have a well-balanced meal.
Right, so just the smaller cans of tuna.
I go over with the bigger cans.
Right.
Or otherwise I have 2 cans because I eat quite a lot sometimes. So but they're protein, so they're good. That's a good way. And one thing I like to advise my clients as well is to make sure to have sufficient protein with each meal because they keep you satiated, and also making sure that you don't kind of overeat on the other macronutrients as well.
Yeah.
So,
whenever you have a meal that's planned and you finish the meal, and it's probably better because your mind thinks it's over and you're done eating, and then you can't eat anymore. So
you need 20 minutes?
Yeah.
That's what they say. You need to eat your meal and then wait 20 minutes. If you're still hungry, then do it again.
Yeah.
It's very easier said than done.
I know, but I would eat I'll eat a whole pre-prepped meal, or I'll eat a whole plate as well. So I'll eat both. I'll finish them both. But the smaller meal, is going to be better suited. It's almost like half a bottle of wine or a whole bottle of wine.
I go with whole bottle of wine
we're
in this instance.
We're a whole bottle every time.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, no. I mean, you can.
I know. Yeah. And I think that before I started kind of weighing my food, you always underestimate how much food you're actually eating. You're like, that's 100 grams of chicken. But when you started weighing, I'm like, 100 grams is definitely a lot less than what you kind of eyeball it. And I think that without getting too obsessed with weighing food, I think it's a great place to kind of start because once you start weighing your food for a couple of weeks, you kind of get more intuitive when you see, you kind of know how to gauge the portion just by looking at it. And I think it's a great way. So, I love food, but I think we do have the tendency to overeat when we're given that big of a portion.
Right.
So.
And you know what? Another thing that I can't remember who told me this one as well, but I always run with this with my clients in personal training, that your stomach can't distinguish whether it's actually thirsty or hungry.
Yes.
It's just empty. So drink water. Don't drink water with your meal. That's another thing.
Really?
Yeah, don't drink water with your meal because it actually, if you drink water, well, not meant to, drink liquids with your meal. It breaks down the meal into in your stomach a lot faster, which makes you hungry again. Does that make sense?
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So you break down the meal because it's gone from solid to liquid in your stomach.
Yeah.
So it just accelerates that faster if you drink water with your meal. So
I've heard that before too.
You have water 30 minutes before your meal, and then you have Adeline's awesome meal prep meals, and then I bet you'll be full.
Yeah. So what is a 1 can of tuna? That's 100 grams of meat?
No, I think with tuna it's probably about 15 to 20 grams of protein,
right.
and I always advise my clients to have at least 100 grams of protein per day.
Okay.
So you can make out of eggs, tofu, fish. Fish, actually, seafood is a really great source of protein, and they're really low in calories. So if you're trying to go through some kind of fat loss, prawns is always my go-to.
Right. Okay. Yeah. What about nuts? I go nuts for nuts.
Nuts is a great source of fat, but I think a lot of
Not protein?
No, they don't have much protein.
Okay.
Yeah, they do have a little bit of protein, but they are high in fat. So I think the key thing to keep in mind with nuts is portion control. So
how many nuts are good amount of nuts? Before we go nuts for nuts.
7, I think. 7.
Brazil nuts is about 3 to 4.
Oh, Liam,
Did you like that one?
I love it.
Took a while, but I had to laugh my own joke then. Sorry. Yes.
I didn't get the joke.
Oh no! I said how many nuts are enough nuts before you go nuts for nuts?
That's a mouthful.
It's a mouthful of nuts.
Okay.
I mean, I probably could fit 7 macadamia nuts in my mouth.
What? I mean, we're talking about. Are we playing the game of like how many we can fit in our mouth?
No, I just visualize eating 7. Can we get off of the nuts, please?
I know. You can go either way now with the nuts.
Liam, you are.
I didn't say it. Well, I'm not. Anyway, let's move on.
It's all fumbles over here.
Yeah, all
today.
fumbles over here. So we're
took a
just
week
talking about
off,
nuts.
so
I'm not saying anything bad. It's just about how many nuts are enough nuts. Let's just finalise that one in a professional way without smiling or laughing.
Okay, serious face.
Serious face.
A handful of nuts, but I think. Okay. About 7 to 10 nuts.
Okay.
Brazil nuts probably a bit
Brazil
less
nuts.
because Brazil nuts are a bit bigger.
Yeah, fair enough.
I need to stop with my hand movements as well.
Okay, cool.
Okay, yeah.
That's not that many.
No.
Yeah, I know.
There's a lot of calories in there.
They are. So if you're not trying to fat loss, if it's just like general like healthy living, obviously it's good, but everything is in moderation.
Yeah.
And nothing is good when you overeat them. So.
When you're weighing, say you got the chicken, right? And you have like a chicken, because I love chicken leg. I'm not really a fan. I'll eat the breast because it's there, but I'm a leg man. You know?
Chicken thighs?
Chicken thighs.
Yeah, they are so much more moist.
Oh, they're so good. I can have like a kilo of them at once. Anyway, so if you're putting that weight on the scale, right?
Yes.
How do you distinguish how much protein's in that one? Or is it just like an amount, like one chicken thigh has got that amount of protein, so you know?
So
or is it like what it weighs, is what the chicken weighs? And then that's to distinguish how many protein?
Yeah, so 100 gram of chicken does not equal 100 gram of protein. So I usually just kind of weigh between 100 to 120 grams of chicken, and that usually give you about 20 to 25 grams of protein. We're not doing a counting thing when it comes to tracking your macros, so you don't have to make sure, you don't have to get it the right amount each time. So you just give yourself some sort of like leeway of like, plus 10% or minus 10%, and you'll be set to go.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah, because otherwise it might get a bit like some people might get too obsessive with tracking and like weighing, and that's not a good habit to be at as well.
100%, and that's what I like. Honestly, if I go down the weighing scenario, I'll be like that.
Oh, really?
I'll just go too much nuts with it.
But taking one extra.
Sorry, I didn't mean to say that. That was just a.
So, Adeline, where are you at now? Are you still working full time, or you've cut back on the accounting more?
Yeah, so I'm actually no longer practicing as an accountant. So I do marketing consultation, social media management, and also fitness coaching. So I'm doing a bit of both, while obviously working on Eat This Burn That as well.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of different things, and it's good to be busy, and I think that's why I guess I understand how a lot of people that are career focused or building their own business, they can get really busy and they don't have time to whip up like a clean meal each time. That's why I think meal prepping comes in very handy. Yeah.
And you've created a PDF or ebook?
Yes,
is that right?
So I do have a like meal prep 101 guide, which has like a 1 week meal plan and also the step-by-step instructions on how to prepare your food. Just a little tip there: always start with the one that takes the longest to cook, so that you don't end up spending 2 or 3 hours in prepping. So
Yeah, I like that concept. But so you're doing marketing consultancy, social media management, and Eat This, Burn That.
Yes.
Yeah.
So 3 jobs you got going.
Yeah.
So are you?
Oh, they're not all full time, so they're kind of like
all part-time.
Yeah, like little gigs,
Little gigs in
consultations.
that.
Yeah.
So you're quite entrepreneurial then, and we're just on the discussion of entrepreneurs as well. Do you feel as though that it's you're doing almost like I'm playing on this concept as well? You're doing this element of moonlight entrepreneuring. You're doing it all part time. Like that's what a moonlight entrepreneur is: someone who does entrepreneurship, multiple things, and does it part time.
Yeah, so I think I've heard someone spoke about this. There's kind of like a portfolio of careers where you're kind of dipping your toes into different things.
Exactly
because
right.
I'm passionate about fitness, but I'm also passionate about marketing and social media. So it's just about combining all of them together. And luckily, we are in a very good time where social media allows you to pretty much talk about anything and everything. So
Definitely.
yeah,
It gives you that concept.
yeah, that's right.
Definitely. I like it. Do you have any questions, Sheena?
Sorry, I was just wondering if you pressed the play button on the.
No, we're good. We're good.
okay.
We're good.
Sorry, I'm a little distracted, and I'm just thinking,
You're distracted. Look at the 30 female lifeguards down here. Like I said that before, there's 3 female lifeguards came in before, and now there's 30 of them.
Yeah, there's a naked blow up.
I know, now I can't unsee
And they could blow up. And they could blow up what?
with her face.
Naked
cool.
blow up.
Anyway, we got a bit distracted there. So Eat This, Burn That. So what do you feel as though your intention is with this moving forward? Like you're revamping your website. Do you have like someone that you want to work with particular? Like do you have an ideal client? Is it women? Is it men? Is it both? Is it 50 years old? 20 years old? Like who do you want to work with?
This is the whole plan of the rebranding. So now I'm making Eat This, Burn That more like a wellbeing hub for hustlers. So anyone can be hustlers. You know, you can be a mom, you can be a dad, looking after your family, managing your business, careers, and everything. So I think essentially I want to work with busy people who wants to try to make healthy living a part of their lifestyle, because I think there's not enough, content out there where people focus, with a focus on fitness, plays. Let me breathe in. Yeah. So I think a lot of people don't focus the mental side of fitness, the mental benefits from fitness enough, and also how it helps with your mindset in running your business as well, and also just keeping fit would help with managing your day-to-day life, your business or your family. So that's kind of where I'm trying to take this forward, and also just making it simple. I think with all these like gluten-free, vegan, paleo, keto, low-carb, high-fat, whatever diet that you see out there, people, I think that kind of complicates the whole healthy living, and also people start to lose a sense of balance, because when things starts to get complicated, it's not sustainable, and you know, the key to living that healthy life forever is just being sustainable. So that's kind of where the idea comes from.
Okay.
And the people that I want to work with is essentially busy people that don't really know how to fit that into their lifestyle. Yeah.
That's an awesome niche to be in.
Yeah.
For the hustlers out there.
Hustlers, I like the word hustler.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Gary Vaynerchuk says that. Hustler.
Yes, I love Gary Vaynerchuk.
He's the man.
I know.
He's the
is
man.
he listening in? Can we like send him a clip?
I wish. He'll
be in.
He'll be in.
Adeline, can you talk us through a typical day for you? Like in terms of what you do activity-wise, and then what you eat, maybe?
Yeah, sure. So I have like 2 parts of, I guess, a day in my life. At the moment, I'm spending 2 days at a client's office, so that would be very different from when I work from home.
Yeah.
So when I do work from home, I wake up about 5:30. I teach morning boot camp from 6:30 to 7:15 Monday to Thursday. So that's a great way for me to get out, you know, get some people to work out, and then after that I'll train myself. Right. And from that, after training myself, I would have my breakfast, get back home, do my work, lunch, work, dinner, work. So I think there's this habit that I start practicing is to kind of get over 5,000 steps before breakfast on days that I work from home. I think that's another thing that a lot of, I guess, work from home entrepreneurs facing is you're not moving enough. And I think when it comes
exactly
to
what Liam was saying, move.
When it comes
just have
to
to remember
fat loss, it's not just the calories you burn during exercise, it's just when your non-exercise activity
Exactly right.
as well. So I think
Incidental exercise.
yes, incidental exercise and just walking just clears your mind and also make you focus better. So if I'm working from home, I make sure to get about 5,000 steps before breakfast. So even though if I don't really move for the rest of the day, I would have some sort of activities covered. And there's a little tip that I've started practicing is if you need to check your email, social media, whatever it is, do it on a treadmill because you can kind of walk and get stuff done and you don't even notice because you're kind of checking your phone and just walking and you can easily get 2,000 to 3,000 steps. So that's my typical day when I'm working from home. And what I usually eat for breakfast, I am a savoury person, so I would have a protein shake post-workout. Breakfast, I like to have omelette with some greens. And also another thing that I've started liking is protein oats. So
protein
you add egg whites to your oats and it kind of make it fluffy and
is that hot dish? Is that a hot dish?
Yeah, that's hot dish.
Do you add milk or anything? Or?
Yeah, so you cook your oats like how you would, and before you serve your oats, you add in like probably a quarter to half a cup of egg whites, and just stir it in, and it really gives that fluff to your egg whites.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's very interesting. What's that taste like then? Does it taste? Can you taste the egg?
No,
in
you
it?
can't actually taste the eggs. So
Okay, that's interesting.
yeah, give it a go.
I was always wondering how you could, make more protein with your oats. I always try to add almonds, but then that egg whites is easier.
Egg whites, yep. So you can buy those liquid egg whites from Woolies now. So that's a great meal. And for lunch, depending on how lazy I am, so sometimes if I am out and about, I would take one of the meals that I've prepped. So usually it's just rice, chicken, and some sort of vegetables. And at the moment, I love capsicum because I have this thing about capsicum where capsicum makes everything taste like pizza.
Ooh, Zollo loves pizza.
Oh man, I'm a pizza man.
Yeah, so add capsicum into everything. So that's kind of what I have for lunch. And for dinner, I usually have some sort of seafood, usually a side of frozen vegetables with prawns or fish. So I have an air fryer at home that you can just pop things inside, do your own thing, shower, come back out, your food is ready.
So if you're like, 'cause for me, for example, I've got my own office in the gym. So it's my office, right? So if I'm going to meal prep for the week, am I meal prepping my breakfast, lunch, and dinner or just my lunch while I'm at work? What do you suggest?
So it depends on obviously your lifestyle and whether you're going to be eating all your 3 meals at the gym or at home. When I was working in corporate, I pretty much prepped everything: breakfast, lunch, dinner, and my snack, only because I don't have the time to whip something up. So if that's your case, where in the morning you just leave your house, go straight to the gym, then it might be advisable to just prep everything so you don't have the thing you can just grab and go. If you have some sort of more flexibility in your gym office where you can kind of put together some sort of meals, then you can just prepare the protein and then you can kind of mix and match, make a salad in your office.
Cool. That's interesting. And how much saving do you reckon you could make? Have you done the calculation on that for saving?
Yes, I've actually did a calculation on my blog before. I think if you really go for the really basic stuff without fruits, because we all know fruits can be quite expensive these days. I don't know why. My best cost I've reached was 60-ish per week for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
60 per week.
Yeah, so chicken is quite cheap, and there's a little money-saving hacks for you. Get your vegetables and fruits from your local grocer because they're usually cheaper than your Woolies and Coles. And I like to get my eggs from my local Asian grocery because they're free range and they sell by tray. So you can pay $10 for like a whole tray of eggs and they're free range. And you know how much free range eggs cost in the supermarket. And also I do get my diced tomato passata sauce from Aldi because the organic, and there's only 2 options there, the healthy and unhealthy options, so it's pretty easy.
Right.
Yeah.
So another tip for saving money is just to shop around. I like to shop most of my stuff, like my chicken and my vegetables, from like local grocer before going to a big supermarket.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
I noticed there was no nibbling in your schedule. Do you nibble at all
I
throughout the day?
I do nibble a lot, so I do. That's why
Nibble on nuts or
No.
I was thinking it, you said it.
go on.
I'm actually not a fan of nibbling on nuts.
No.
Yeah, the only nuts.
So
I like
what
to
do you
taste-
eat? Like fruit or?
I eat fruit, and I do like popcorn, but now I've learned my lesson. I just buy those pre-packed popcorn because portion control. Again, I think there's this concept that people don't realize. There's no such thing as bad food. I think it's more portion because
Calories.
Calories. Like chocolate, their serving recommendation is 1 serving, which is 1 square, and you eat the whole bar. Of course, you're going to put on weight.
Probably not going to have to eat for the rest of the day if you have that block, hey? Is that what you're saying?
No, if you do that...
If you do that, you shouldn't be eating for the rest of the day.
Yeah, but
It's calories.
Exactly. So I do like snacking with popcorn because they're really crunchy, and also rice crackers is great. Fruit, obviously, grapes is great because again the crunchiness of grapes, and
it's satisfying because you can just
you can just
keep
eating.
going, and
Yeah.
you just
it's quite
it's
addictive,
almost
right?
more a habit than
Yeah.
it is hunger, like you were saying.
Yeah, and also because I am a huge fan of just tracking your macros. You don't need to be really strictly. You don't need to do it strictly. What I like to do as well is to allocate a little bit of leeway for me to eat something that I'm craving for at that time. So for the past few weeks, I had something for like chocolate digestive. I don't know why. So I've been making sure that I kind of factor in each day, so that I kind of treat myself every day. I don't have like some mad cravings, which ending in
Eating the whole.
eating the whole bag. So yes,
The
Which is
cravings
very
as
easy.
well. You know where the cravings come from?
not eating enough during the day.
Wow.
Right on the money. And for not even... I got told as well is not eating enough protein.
Protein and carbs.
Both of them.
Yeah,
They're just not eating enough calories during the day.
Yeah, because I love my carbs, but before and after training, I just don't crave for carbs for some reason. But then now I've noticed that eating carbs, one, makes you stronger like a Hulk, giving you the energy to train. And after that, if you eat like a solid portion of carbs, you don't feel like you don't really get that urge to nibble on stuff as much as you would later in the day. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's interesting. So to not nibble,
Eat more.
eat more.
That's good. Yeah.
So eat more in your portions, you reckon? Because it used to be, when I first was personal training, it was eat breakfast like a king,
Yes.
lunch like a prince, dinner like a pauper. So
Yes.
eat bigger and then small throughout the day. But they also used to say have snacks in between, so you're having like 6 meals a day.
Yeah.
But now that concept is sort of fizzled away. Is that correct? And it's just
I think it depends on how your body reacts to it. I think it depends on how your body reacts to it as well. Like personally, I like to eat big meals because if I'm not full and satiated, I just start nibbling on stuff. So
Yeah,
I'm better
exactly
off
right.
eating like a bigger portion of food.
give me the big pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah, anything with pizza, it's good.
Yeah.
But as long as it's a small pizza, because you can eat the whole pizza if it's small.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
I think there's like all these like protein pizza bays, or you can kind of use like those Lebanese bread wrap
Yeah.
as a base, and you can make your own toppings.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
I mean, do you think that there is a mental aspect of finishing? Like,
Yes.
for me, it's like
Yeah,
I need to finish.
it's like an achievement.
Yeah, that's right. I
Yes.
don't like
Yes,
that
I've
though.
achieved
because
something.
every time there's food that's left over, I will save the food, or like not me because I eat the whole dish, but if I have somebody that I'm eating with, and
Yes, I can relate with that because if someone doesn't fit, like say we go out for like lunch or something and there's food left over on the table and we continue talking, I'll be the one that's finishing it. It's just, I don't know, if there's food in front of me and no one's eating it, I'll eat them. So.
Or if there's a bottle of wine open and nobody's like,
Oh yeah,
finishing it.
that goes without saying. So.
So what is that then? What is it? Just an accomplishment? Like, is it just a human behavior that wants to finish what?
I think it's how it's being brought up as well.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
as
Finish
a
at one
kid.
stage because people are like getting hungry somewhere else. But I was also told it's either the food goes to your bin or your stomach becomes the bin. So it kind of makes you realize, do you really want to make your stomach like
The bin?
a bin?
Well,
Yeah.
that's what they used to call me as a kid, the human garbage bin. That's makes so much more sense
Do
now.
you used to finish whatever that's left on the table?
Everything. But then that's how I was brought up. because that's what I was saying, as an Italian background, it's like eat your pasta, eat.
Yeah.
I remember this one story as well. My dad said it to me. He blew up at me and he said, "You're not leaving that dinner table until you finish your pasta." And I said to him years later, I go, that was so mean. How, like, I remember that as a kid, 8 years old, you told me to finish my pasta. I didn't want the pasta. And he goes, "Well, you know why I made you finish the pasta, Liam?" I go, "Why?" He goes, "Because you had like 15 biscuits beforehand." So I'm like, "You're going to eat the biscuits, you're going to eat the pasta. You forgot about that one then, didn't you?"
Good one, John.
Good one, John. So I only remember the pasta eating
And
bit,
not the biscuit, yeah.
Not the biscuit, but there's some merit to that because our parents did tell us as a kid, well, mine did anyway, and my family, my nonna, used to say, "Eat your pasta. That's on that pasta. Eat more." So
that's like us as well. Mine is finish your rice. Otherwise, I think that's this thing that my grandma used to tell me: if you don't finish your rice in your bowls, your future husband's going to be filled with pimples on your face.
I've never heard that one.
But it came. I reckon it comes down to post-war. And post-World War II, like if our grandparents are like that, post-World War II, there was famine, there wasn't as much, it was more hunger. So now when we have those big portions, but we don't have lacking of food, but we've had that same mentality, like we've got to eat everything because we don't know when we're going to eat again.
Yeah, and even like saving food at a restaurant, like if I don't eat my whole plate, like that's good food. Like it doesn't mean that it's bad food, it's just that I don't want to finish the food. So I get in the habit of making sure that I take something home with me, and I'm so appreciative of it the next day when I have the whole meal over again.
Oh, that's great.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So with the meal preparation, just on that, if you're going out to dinner, right, and then you're meal prepping, do you say, okay, cool, because I'm going to have a big dinner, I'm going to skip out on my lunch, or is it more that you're having your lunch and then when you get to dinner, you're doing what Sheena said, you're just not having as much?
I think I'd go with not having that much. I don't think that you should ever skip a meal just because you ate a big meal before. I think more.
I mean after. Like if I'm having a big dinner, for example, and then the lunch is there, and I know, okay, cool, I'm going to go out for dinner with my partner tonight, so I'm going to just save that lunch, and I'm going to make sure that I have a bigger dinner. Is there does that matter, do you feel, or it's not right to do it that way?
I don't think that's right or wrong, but I mean, even if you're trying to save your appetite for later, it's good to have something small, but with those instances, I try to minimise my carbs then, if I know that I'm going to have pizza or pasta for the night.
Yeah, exactly right.
At the end of the day, it's kind of balancing it up throughout the day.
And it always comes back to self-awareness.
Yeah, self-awareness. I think
self-awareness. That's how it's got to. You got to have that awareness. Like, this is what's going to happen today. This is what I'm going to do instead. And just being in control. I
actually came across a really interesting article a couple of weeks ago where they say that intuitive eating is actually not the right word to use, because if you go out for dinner, you order your steak with a side of salad as opposed to a side of chips. That's actually mindful eating, because you actually make the conscious decisions to make the swap, because you know that the salad's going to make you feel better and the chips is not going to make you feel better.
Yeah.
So it's more like mindful, because intuitively, if you don't really practice mindfulness, you know that you're going to go for the chips.
Because it's habit. It's almost a habit,
so it's quite interesting when I came across that, because I think everyone is kind of preaching about intuitive eating, but I think there's some sort of education that you need to teach yourself, and I think that's what's lacking in the industry, and a lot of people pretty much see, that person is eating that, I got to follow whatever he or she is eating, but everyone's body is different. Your body might react better to fat, and my body might react better to carbs, or vice versa.
Definitely.
And I think you need to kind of test and try that to figure it out, and once you know that, it's so much easier to make healthy decisions in the future.
And that's a great point you brought up, because I was doing the ketones thing, which is a high-fat diet.
Yeah, how is that going?
I did it for like 4 to 8 weeks, I can't remember. So
it's
I did really religiously for the first month, but for my body, I feel as though it's not sustainable.
Yeah.
What I do now is I have 2 days where I do have an intermittent fast, like the fasting method.
Yeah.
It's not so much ketosis, but it's a little bit more fasting, and that seems to work with my body. So it's that self-awareness, like having the high carb diet, see if it works. If it doesn't work, you're getting bloated, then reduce the carbs back down.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to kind of go about that as well.
It's a marketing thing as well. Test and measure. That's it. Test, measure, test, measure, test, measure.
And I'm starting to understand that everybody is different in terms of what their body is going to respond to.
Yeah.
Because last time we spoke, Adeline, I had just watched What the Health.
Yes.
And I was going vegetarian, and I've been now a vegetarian for about 2.5 months. And just over the last week, I've been really feeling run down. And I was going to tell you this, Liam, I haven't been feeling well. I ended up going to the hospital, getting my blood test. And I was talking to Lana Lian, who's coming in next week. She's a health coach, and she's written this book, Autoimmune Disease Cured. So she's cured herself through diet. And I was going to ask her about, how I'm feeling. And I said, I stopped eating meat a couple months ago. And so I was just explaining my symptoms. And as I was saying it, I'm like, this is probably what's going on. I'm lacking in some kind of...
Like nutrients.
Yeah, and she said right away, you're lacking in B12. You've got to, eat your meat. There's nutrients in meat that you don't get. And so she's so full of information. She's like, if you want to feel better, I would suggest eating meat now for the rest of the week, just to see if that gets you out of this little funk. And meanwhile, I was speaking to Stefan, who is a Stefano, so he's a keto coach. Yeah. And I said, Stefano, can you please tell me how to eat keto as a plant-based diet? Because I was a vegetarian, and then I heard some great things about keto diet and autism and a lot of diseases use the keto diet because of the high fat content.
That's where it came from. They started putting autistic kids on a keto diet, and then it helped them in the early 20s, I think.
Yeah, Tim Ferriss is a huge fan of keto.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So I said on the Friday, I said, can you get me a plan that has no meat in it? And then by the Monday, he's like, how you feeling, Sheena? And I'm like, I need now a meat plan, because I talked to Lana and she told me that I needed to eat meat. And so now I've been eating meat for 7 days, and I've crossed over to the dark side, because it's like my heart wants to be a vegetarian, but my body wants to be a meat lover. And seriously, this is what I realized, that every body is different, because there's some vegans and vegetarians out there that are thriving without eating meat. And then there's people like me who really want to, but I can't, because the way I'm feeling is one jam. I feel like Santa walking along the ocean. My belly is huge, and I just don't feel like my body is at its
responding well.
It's responding well, or it's not even at its optimal.
When you're vegetarian or when you're keto?
No, when I was a vegetarian.
When you're vegetarian,
And this is the second time that I've gone vegetarian, and it didn't work for me. Remember the first time I told you I was vegetarian, I was working out for the North Face 50, and I got really sick. So it's the second time where I've really attempted to eat vegetarian, and my body has won in the end, saying we want meat.
Yeah. This is what happens, I reckon, and it comes down to what we've been talking about. It's what your body needs right now. What is if you look at it, what does my body need right now? And that's what I always continue to say, the same couple of words, self-awareness once again, because for me, for example, I've been training quite hard all week. So for me, I feel like I've done a lot of cardio. So I've been craving a lot more carbs because of that. Last week I was feeling a little bit more like I've just been feeling a little bit more bloated, so I just took away the carbs a little bit more, and then that helped me. Yeah. It's because your body changes every 30 days. Yeah. Every 30 days you have all your brand new cells come into your body again. You're not the same you're not the same Sheena, you're not the same Adeline, Liam as 30 days ago. Yeah. So why do we need to continue to have that same nutrition plan for the rest of our life when it might not work for us? It worked for us 30 days ago, but it might not work for us in the next 30 days. So listen to your body and give it what you need.
Yeah, and
if it's saying meat, give it meat.
And I'm going to try the keto diet. I'm going to do my first fasting on Monday.
Oh, about time.
Yeah,
How many months has been? I've been telling you about keto, and then now you're doing it again.
I jump on the bandwagon now.
I'm
going to try keto.
I seriously, I just, the way that it's described, and it's using fat to burn fat instead of sugar to burn fat, is that right? Then, I could just visualize my fat burning. I love it.
So it's it's a good, and you have that good visualization. You're gonna have that same result as we were talking about before with Nam, but it's like a fire. Have you heard this concept of the keto diet?
Yeah, I've heard of it. I think it's just because I love carbs so much, and I haven't tried training just using your ketone in your body to train, and I've recently gotten into strength training, so I rely a lot on carbs.
As you do,
and I've noticed a big difference. I spend like $100 on a pre-workout trying to get pumped up for my session, and all I needed was coffee and some toast. And
definitely, and that's what a piece of fruit. And with keto, that's what they say you can do as well, because if you're having strength training, because CrossFitters are finding it difficult to translate into the keto diet, because they're explosive. CrossFit's explosive movement, isn't it? So it's like powerlifting, and then you're into running, and then it's a competition. You're doing ring dips, so it's ATP, like you're adenosine triphosphate. That's when you're using that muscle, it's explosive movement. So you need the carbs, right? But you have, what it is what you just mentioned before, have those little bits of carbs before, and then afterwards it's the high fat, high protein scenario.
Maybe we can do our keto together.
I would love to.
Keto together, see if you can do keto meal
meal
prep.
plan.
I know.
That would be hard. That's what I found really challenging to do, the keto meal prep. Which is pretty similar.
Just eat a lot of halloumi.
Oh, there we go. Oh, I love halloumi.
I can eat halloumi and peanut butter.
After all this conversation, I'm just hungry.
Yeah. With keto, you can have all the nuts.
I know.
Okay, come on, girls. We just got off the topic of the nuts thing.
Please, I go nuts over nuts, and he's like, get the salted
nuts
ones.
See, I don't go nuts over nuts.
I'm with you with that.
I feel like I get really dehydrated with them. It's like pretzels, have you ever seen Seinfeld? He goes, these pretzels are making me thirsty. It actually does, and it's the same thing with nuts.
Well, that's why they have nuts at bars. So you can be thirsty, and they can get more sales.
I've heard,
now that's a hustle right there.
That's a hustle. Talk about hustlers.
Nuts and beers.
Nuts and beers. That's why they have, nice.
But they say that bowl is the grossest, most bacteria-infested, because people go to the toilet and they come back and they put their hands in the bowl.
Okay.
So I would,
I'm not nuts for nuts now. I'm off the bandwagon.
On that note,
we're going to have to wrap up the show anyway. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you.
It's been great chatting with you guys as well.
Where can we find you then?
eatthesbrandthat.com, and also I have the free meal prep guide as well that you can find it on my website that says Meal Prep 101 Guide. So
awesome.
eatthesbrandthat.com/free and you will find that.
Yay!
Thank you so much.
And we'll talk about going on the keto diet.
Yes, and nuts and
cakes.
cakes and raw cakes, that is, because coconut oil and nuts. So
Hey, once again, Sheena, it's been an absolute privilege to be down here. We had 1 week off and we got a bit rusty.
Oh, we're always a little bit rusty, but that's
me. Look, I'm the rusty one because I'm the trainer. I've been there for 11 years in the sporting industry, but the DJ thing, like the putting the microphones and stuff like that, that's a new thing for me.
That's pretty cool. I feel like that could be my new hobby.
New hobby. I mean, it's fun, but sometimes you get it wrong. And you know what? Embrace the mistakes. That's what I say. Embrace. Don't be scared of making mistakes in the world. Exactly right. And we'll leave it on that high note. Thank you so much for your time, Facebook fans, Bondi Radio fans. Thank you so much. And we'll see you next week.
Next week, yeah.
We're not taking another break.
No, Liam. It's like I can't
Another
poor Emily.
Poor Emily as well. So I got to make sure that we can still spend that time.
We need to make her happy. Make her happy during the week,
happy.
so you can come and be with me on Saturday.
Do my best. She's always happy anyway. She's always happy. Sometimes we just got to spend that little extra time together.
I'm glad that you did that because it gave me a little bit of breathing room. I was sick too, by the way.
Oh, well, there you go. Fair enough. Well, we're back with a force. Next week, we're going to do this unbelievable. We're going to go to another level. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Until next week, guys and girls, thank you so much.
Hey, how are you?
Bondi Beach. This is Bondi Radio.
Hey, man. What's happening?
All right, guys, that's another weekend done with the Wellness Radio. We'll see you next week. Bye for now.